5 News This Morning starts now.
Police arrest a teen in a local bomb threat investigation. Coming up, how they say a Fort Smith school was named as a possible target. Details ahead.
Well, this morning, not necessarily the coolest you may expect. Starting tomorrow morning, it's going to get a little bit cooler, a little bit more fall-like, but notice it doesn't last very long next week. We're back to pretty warm overnight. We'll talk more about that here coming up.
And Walmart's open call wraps today. What you can expect from today's event, that's coming up in just a few minutes.
And a live look outside this morning in Fayetteville. Good morning to you at 6:30 on this Wednesday. Hope you're off to a great start.
Yeah, I think we are, because I feel fall in the air, and every day I keep saying that one day it's going to be completely true.
One day it will happen.
Yes, today it's like kind of somewhat true. Tomorrow it's going to be pretty true. And then as we head into next week, it's going to be back to late summer again. So we're in this kind of rut that we can't break, and it doesn't look like it's going to be broken for at least the next couple of weeks. So,
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, well, it's well documented. Tiffany wants this weather to stay around forever. And, well, Tiffany, your wish is becoming true here through possibly the rest of October. Right now, we're seeing temperatures in northwest Arkansas starting to see a hint of that cooler air in the upper 50s in Eureka Springs, lower 60s there in Bentonville and Huntsville. But for the River Valley, mid to upper 60s, still 71 in Van Buren. So, yeah, pretty similar to yesterday. You can see pretty similar conditions across the River Valley, but a little bit cooler in northwest Arkansas. We're getting that cold front will eventually kind of take shape throughout the day today, as those high temperatures will be cooler than yesterday, but then especially tomorrow morning, we're going to see things a little bit cooler. And the reason why it's not cool this morning is because of the cloud cover. It's still pretty overcast across much of the area, and with that, it kind of traps in some of that heat. Is that, obviously when you go to the nighttime, usually that warm air from the day will release, but if there's clouds there, it kind of absorbs it and then sends it back, keeping things a little bit on the warmer side. So you head out the door this morning, we'll be in the 60s, maybe a stray shower, but a lot of that chance started to dwindle. See a little bit of clearing in northwest Arkansas for recess, and we'll see some sunshine this afternoon with more comfortable conditions. We'll talk about the rest of your week's forecast here coming up in just a little bit. For now, we'll take a live look at traffic this morning. Take a live look in the Clarksville area along I-40 at exit 57. Good morning to you there. Traffic moving smoothly here across the region. Again, just seeing some cloudy skies, maybe a very brief sprinkle or two, especially in the River Valley. Nothing to really kind of swat at, but we'll have that full forecast coming up in about 15 minutes. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, Danny, thanks for that. Well, today is the second day at the Walmart Open Call Conference. Now, this is a big deal for our area.
Yeah, for the first time, it's being held at the new Walmart campus. Tons of people are out there. 5 News reporter Emily Moss is joining us live there with the latest on day 2. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Joe and Tiffany. That's right. Walmart's open call wraps today. Hundreds of entrepreneurs come to Bentonville every year to pitch their products. Today, inventors and investors will start meeting around 8 o'clock this morning, and by 10, we'll already start getting an idea of who gets the golden ticket, who gets a partnership with Walmart and Sam's Club for their product, bringing it to life. All products must be made in America. It's part of Sam Walton's Buy American initiative. Jason Fremstad is the Senior Vice President of Supplier Development for Walmart, and he says for inventors to stand out, they need to sell their why.
Tell your story. It's that resonance with our customers and our members, so we really want entrepreneurs to tell their story about their business.
Now, you all watching at home might be thinking, okay, Walmart gives them a partnership, then what? Does it actually get on the shelves? Well, behind me here, you can kind of see those successful stories. We have the Pop Daddy Snacks, Crocodile Cloth, even Dude Wipes. They all started here at this open call with Walmart. Now today, we know that there is no quota for how many products that are actually going to get chosen. Walmart says last year, over half of the entrepreneurs that came here with a product got a partnership. So we'll just have to wait and see who's going to be that next big product. Back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Emily. Well, in other news this morning, a Washington County program focused on helping those in jail is asking the county for more money. One committee voted to move forward with the funds, but making some changes first. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer has more.
We work with them in the community, so we house them, we give them jobs, give them to work there and back, and case management and mental health counseling and family reunification.
Right now, the CAPS program is funded through ARPA dollars, but Returning Home asked the Washington County Quorum Court for $500,000 from the county's general fund. Executive Director Nick Robbins says that money would keep their 32-bed facility running through April 2027.
So we have to have at least 4 months of funding to be able to commit them to us to know that we can follow through on their plea agreement And so we've got to know before next year if we have the funding in place to continue so that there's no gap in services.
I've been alarmed that we're continuing down the path to give such a substantial amount of money to one vendor who seems to be this preferred above all others entity.
But Sarah Moore, executive director of the Arkansas Justice Reform Coalition, is asking the county to pause that payment. She says it duplicates money Returning Home already got through ARPA.
Not only am I going to take your federal dollars that are already contracted, I also now want you to provide local tax dollars for the same services.
And Moore says she wants to see more local programs that focus on reducing arrests and supporting healing in the community.
That those solutions are here. And so I'd really like to see us recognize that and uplift those entities that are taxpayers here, that also live here.
County Judge Patrick Deakins says the investment in Returning Home is worth it.
Services. If you want to trace every dollar back to the outcome that we're getting, you absolutely can. They are selling us outcomes for our community. We're interested in purchasing those.
Well, now that the funds have been approved by the Finance and Budget Committee, it will go to the full quorum court for a final vote. Enforcement police say they've arrested a teenager accused of making a bomb threat. Investigators say they received a call Tuesday after a voicemail was discovered implying that Kimmons Middle School was a possible target. Police arrested a 14-year-old boy who's now facing charges of threatening to commit an act of violence on a school. Police say this is a separate incident from a threat made last week. The school enforcement police worked together and say they found no credible threat with Tuesday's incident.
Oh, we've been following the two deadly bear attacks in Newton and Franklin counties. And now the Ozark Highlands Trail Association is reporting another encounter. It's a nonviolent incident, but they say that hikers spent nearly 6 hours trying to scare a black bear away from their campsite. It happened at Salt Fork Creek in Franklin County. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but according to reports, the bear stayed close by, even as the campers tried throwing rocks and made loud noises. The association's maintenance coordinator says with recent unusual bear behavior, they want everyone to be safe.
If you are cooking on the campsite area, make sure you're downwind from your tent. Make sure your tent is pretty far away from the cook area, and try to camp in an open spot. Don't camp to where you're right next to a lot of brush or a lot of wooded area.
Adam says as they get trails ready for hikers, they're reminding people who are hiking or camping alone to make sure that they tell someone where they are at all times.
All right, 6:36 this morning, we're taking a live look out at the nation's capital. The Senate is expected to vote again on short-term funding bills this morning. A White House draft memo suggested withholding back pay to federal workers who are now forced to stay home. However, a 2019 law President Trump signed promises pay to all federal workers after a shutdown. Some essential workers are on the job waiting for a paycheck, but sick calls are up in air traffic control towers. And the FAA says today ground stops are possible at multiple major airports.
Would hope that eventually they'll get their act together and everybody will come together and do what's right.
The Air Traffic Controllers Union says the shutdown is impacting morale and creating hardships, but the union has also told its members they must keep working and warned if they don't show up, they could be terminated. Well, this morning, former FBI Director James Comey is set to be arraigned in Virginia on federal charges. They stem from the testimony he gave to Congress 5 years ago, during which he denied authorizing leaks to the media. Comey is charged with obstruction of justice and making false statements. He says he's innocent, and he's vowed to take the case to trial. The indictment last month came days after the president on social media pressured Attorney General Pam Bondi to prosecute Comey and his political rivals. During a heated hearing on Capitol Hill Tuesday, Bondi refused to discuss the Comey case, and she denied that the president's social media post was a directive.
President Trump is the most transparent president in American history, and I don't think he said anything that he hasn't said for years.
New interim U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Lindsay Holligan, is handling the case along with 2 assistant U.S. attorneys from North Carolina after recent firings and resignations in her office.